Hello and welcome to another episode of Trust Check with me, Hajara Hosseini. Trust Check gives you weekly reports on viral claims made on and off social media that may have had citizens asking so many questions. Before we get into that, let's take a quick break. Welcome back to Trust Check. Every day, the online space gives birth to fake news merchants, and this is because there are a lot of people who would believe almost everything they come across online. However, Trust Check can be your weekly reminder to make it a habit to verify any information you're not comfortable with before sharing them in order to reduce the spread of fake news in society. On this episode, we take on some claims made online that garnered a lot of reactions. The first claim was made recently via a blog site suggesting that the Central Bank of Nigeria is set to scrap the automated teller machine cards. The headline of the post reads, CBN set to scrap ATM cards, others unveil National Domestic Card Scheme. The post further stated that the decision would take effect with the introduction of a National Domestic Card Scheme, which is set to be effective on January 16, 2023. However, findings by Trust Check show that the CBN did not at any point announce the scrapping of ATM cards despite the introduction of the Domestic Card Scheme, which is supposed to take effect from January 16, 2023. Furthermore, the explanation given by the Apex Bank for rolling out the Domestic Card Scheme is to promote stability, inclusion, and growth in the financial and payment system. According to the CBN, the scheme will be delivered through the Nigeria Interbank Settlement Systems PLC, the country's central switch, in conjunction with the Bankers Committee and other financial ecosystem stakeholders. The card payment scheme is a payment network that processes payments using debit and credit cards. Typically, banks and financial institutions sign up for a card payment scheme that they use to issue cards to customers for a fee. Also, the card is expected to reduce the dependence on cash across the landscape and help promote the cashless initiative of the CBN. In developed countries, financial institutions are not the only ones that require the services of a card payment scheme. Businesses that intend to issue cards to their customers may also require these services. However, these cards may likely be backed by a financial institution. By launching a card payment scheme, Nigeria would join the likes of India, Brazil, and Turkey, all of which have the domestic card payment schemes. Although Nigeria currently charges over 1,000 naira to issue debit cards, this cost might drop due to the introduction and implementation of the scheme. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll give you our verdict. Welcome back to Trust Check. Trust Check has ascertained that there was no point in time that the CBN hinted at scraping ATM cards. As such, the claim is false. The second claim was made by an ex-presidential aspirant of the All Progressives Congress, Adamu Garba, who claimed that the Arabic is Nigeria's official language in addition to the English language. He made this claim via a tweet on October 27, 2022, while expressing his support for the redesigning of the Naira, adding that it is long overdue. In his words, redesigning the Naira is long overdue, one of the giant strides of CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele. However, wide-ranging consultation and rapid awareness needs to be created. For trust's sake, the two official languages of English and Arabic needs to remain in addition to the local ones. In a bid to validate Garba's claim, Trust Check found out that there are over 500 native languages spoken in Nigeria, but the official language of Nigeria is English, which is the language of the former colonial masters. Also, while Arabic is a major language in 22 countries of the world that make up the Arab League, including Algeria, Bahrain, Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, and Tunisia, amongst others, it is recognized as a majority language in only 6 countries in Africa. This comprises Algeria, Egypt, Libya, Mauritania, Morocco, and Sudan, while it is a minority language in only 5 countries, which are Mali, Niger, Senegal, South Africa, and South Sudan. Interestingly, Nigeria is not one of them. In passing a verdict on Adamu's claim, it should be noted that although Arabic or Ajami inscriptions are used on Nigeria's currency, there is nowhere it is documented that it is an official language in Nigeria. The English language is the only known official language in Nigeria. Hence, Adamu Garba's claim that Arabic is an official language in Nigeria is false. Now to our segment of Need to Know, we will be looking at the Naira redesign and how it may further affect Nigeria's economy. The Central Bank of Nigeria on October 26, 2022, disclosed its plan to redesign the 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes. It cited concerns of illicit funds in circulation, which it said bandits and kidnappers have been exploiting in perpetrating their crimes. The Apex Bank mentioned it will be introducing the redesigned notes into the financial system on December 15, 2022, and has given January 31, 2023 as the expiry date for legal tender of the notes being rested. Let's hear from the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele on the Apex Bank's decision to redesign the currency.
Significant hoarding of banknotes by members of the public, with statistics showing that over 85% of currency in circulation are outside the vaults of our commercial banks. To be more specific, as at the end of September 2022, available data at the CBN indicate that 2.73 trillion naira out of the 3.23 trillion naira currency in circulation was outside the vaults of commercial banks across the country and supposedly held by members of the public. Evidently, currency in circulation has more than doubled since 2015, rising from 1.46 trillion in December 2015 to 3.23 trillion as of September 2022. I must say that this is a very worrisome trend that cannot continue to be allowed. 2. Worsening shortage of clean and fit banknotes with attendant negative perception of the CBN and increased risk to financial stability. 3. Increasing ease and risk of counterfeiting, evidenced by several security reports. Indeed, recent developments in photographic technology and advancements in printing devices have made counterfeiting relatively easier. In recent years, the CBN has recorded significantly higher rates of counterfeiting, especially at the higher denominations of 500 and 1,000 naira notes, banknotes. Although global best practice is for central banks to redesign, produce, and circulate new local legal tender every 5 to 8 years, our existing series of banknotes, the Naira, has not been redesigned in the last 20 years. The bank remains resolutely determined to achieve the objective of its mandate as enshrined in Section 2B of the CBN Act of 2007 to ensure a strong and effective legal tender. It is therefore no longer tenable to continue with business as usual, especially given the continually evolving circumstances that could impeach the optimal performance of our Naira. Furthermore, we believe that the redesign of the currency will help deepen our drive to entrench cashless economy, as it will be complemented by increased minting of our e-Naira. This will further rein in the currency outside the banking system into the banking system, thereby making monetary policy more efficacious. Also, in view of the prevailing level of security situation in the country, the CBN is convinced that the incidence of terrorism and kidnapping will be minimized as access to large volume of money outside the banking system used as source of funds for ransom payments will begin to dry up. Ladies and gentlemen, on the basis of these trends, problems, and facts set out above, and in line with the provisions of Sections 2B, Section 18A, and Section 19, Subsection A and B of the CBN Act 2007, the management of the CBN has sought and obtained the approval of President Muhammadu Buhari to redesign, produce, release, and circulate new series of banknotes at 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1000 naira levels. In line with this approval, we have finalized arrangements for the new currency to begin circulation from December 15, 2022, after its launch by President Muhammadu Buhari. The new and existing currencies shall remain legal tender and circulate together until January 31, 2023, when the existing currencies shall cease to be legal tender. Accordingly, all deposit money banks currently holding the existing denominations of the currency may begin returning these banknotes back to the CBN effective immediately. The newly designed currency will be released to the banks in the order of first come, first served basis. Customers of banks are enjoined to begin paying into their bank accounts the existing currency to enable them withdraw the new banknotes once circulation begins in mid-December 2022. All banks are therefore expected to keep open their currency processing centers from Monday to Saturday so as to accommodate all cash that will be returned by their customers to their vaults.
This is not the first time the Naira would be redesigned. It was first redesigned in 1984 by Muhammadu Buhari when he was military head of state. Buhari's reason in 1984 was a tactic to advance his anti-corruption war against the political class who had embezzled funds. However, the central bank introduced polymer Naira notes between 2005 and 2007. It began with the 20 Naira in 2005, and afterward all lower denominations of the Naira from 5 Naira to 50 Naira were converted from paper to polymer notes. Then in 2014, the CBN, in commemoration of Nigeria's centenary, redesigned the 100 Naira notes by including new features which the CBN governor said were designed to enhance security to offer robust resistance against counterfeiting. According to the CBN report, the total cost incurred on printing Naira notes in 2020 amounted to over 58 million Naira. This is the amount of printing an already existing design, meaning the cost of printing a redesign and its logistics will cost more. This development has further affected the Naira to dollar price, and the price keeps going higher. The risk of overprinting will also lead to further inflation. When too much money is printed, it leads to too much money in circulation, which is exactly what the CBN is trying to avoid, and too much money in circulation may cause inflation or hyperinflation. Experts note that policies like this must always be scrutinized and elaborately considered, especially in a country like Nigeria going through financial crunches. As such, financial public policy must be rigorously considered before implementation. Although some financial analysts say that the new experience is expected to bring more traditionally unbanked people into the bank, but at what cost to the economy? While we bring you weekly reports on false information circulating on and off social media, a simple way to stop the spread of fake news is to verify any information before sharing them. Always remember that fake news causes damage with irreversible effects. For more details on the fact check, visit www.trustcheck.dailytrust.com and follow us on all our social media platforms at Trust TV News. Until I come your way next week, I am Hajara Hussaini.